50 strikeouts is already a Rockies rookie record.
And you see the opponent's batting average, 237, equally effective against righties and lefties so far this year. Big arm, big fastball, throws a hard slider to go along with it. Will change speeds occasionally, second and third time through the order.
David Dahl out there signing for some Rockies youngsters as we take a look at the Colorado Ball Club defensively. Our Eye on Defense is brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
David Dahl out in left field. Raimel Tapia in center field. Carlos Gonzalez on his bobblehead day will be out in right field. Nolan Arenado and Daniel Descalso on the left side of the infield with DJ LeMahieu and former D-back Gerardo Parra on the right side. Tony Walters getting the nod behind the plate today for right-hander Jon Gray.
Our umpires this afternoon, Corey Blazer behind the plate. He'll have the balls and strikes. Tony Randazzo is at first base. The crew chief, Bill Miller's at second. And Tom Woodring is our third base umpire this afternoon. Just about set to go. Jon Gray and Archie Bradley, the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. But first, BB, it's time for your Valley Honda dealer's key to the game.
Well, we mentioned earlier that both these starting pitchers are from the state of Oklahoma. We're going to boom their Sooner.
Oh, like Boomer Sooner?
Yeah.
Oh, your staff really worked hard on that.
Well, I thank you for that.
No. Well, this should be fun. Jon Gray and Archie Bradley, a couple of very good young right-handers in this NL West. Matched up head-to-head. Archie is 1-0 in 2 starts in this ballpark this year. And we'll see if the D-backs can get a series win before we are on an airplane after this one off to Los Angeles for 3 against the Dodgers, where Zach Greinke starts at Dodger Stadium tomorrow night. Gene Segura is set to lead it off back in the lineup today, and we are set to go. Segura tied with Charlie Blackmon and Martin Prado for 3rd in the league in hitting. He's batting .317. Gene singled and scored a run Friday night. He was 1 for 5. And the night off last night, that stomach bug was acting up. Phil Gosselin got the start at second. Well, this is one problem with Jon Gray, who is by far anything but a finished product yet. Although he's had a very promising season this time, the command will occasionally get away from him. And he walks the leadoff man on 4 pitches.
Good start. We know how much Gene Segura wants to swing that bat. For him to take a walk to start the ball game, that's a good sign.
With a red-hot Chris Owings, 285 and 2 home runs, batting in the 2-hole today. A.J. Pollock has the day off. Segura, 28 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught 8 times.
CO 6 for 7 in this series, including that 4 for 4 night last night. He's also drawn an intentional walk, so he's been right in the middle of everything for the D-backs.
Yeah, 8 plate appearances, 6 hits and a walk. He was 4 for 4 last night. Well, Jon Gray having trouble throwing strikes. Jon Gray, when he's at his best, will work up to about 97 with that fastball. And when he's got that sharp break to his slider and he's mixing in the occasional curveball, which is a relatively new pitch for him, he can be tough to deal with, but the command is not always there. Walks have been up a bit lately, and that elevates his pitch count. That seems to be the last piece of the puzzle for Big Jon Gray, is getting a little more efficient and pitching deeper into these ball games.
As we've seen this season, you can get through a lineup the first time with 1 pitch if you can command it. Second time, you need to add that second pitch. For Jon Gray, that would be the slider, but after that, he doesn't really have that third weapon, something off speed to really give the opposing hitters a different look.
In the air along the right field line for Carlos Gonzalez, and it drops in foul ground.
I mean, we saw that to a certain extent with Robbie Ray in game 1 of this series. Pitched into the 5th inning, gave up 8 hits in that ball game, but really was limited to one pitch, the fastball. Just couldn't get any break on the slider, didn't throw many changeups. And against a major league lineup, if you're limited to one pitch, I don't care how hard you're throwing it, they're going to get to you.
Well, Gray, when he was at Oklahoma, just blew everybody away. He would often throw 100 miles an hour and north of that. So the curveball is foreign territory for him. He's always had the fastball slider. Had really never thrown a curveball in his life, he said this winter, before last year. Could never quite pick up the spin. So he tried to learn. He watched a lot of videos, guys like Felix Hernandez, Garrett Cole, Yu Darvish. And it wasn't so much the curveball, just something slower to mix in with that hard fastball and hard slider. It wasn't about the spin for him, more about the velocity. Segura got a tremendous jump, and he walks in. 29th stolen base for Segura. And that one's on John Gray.
Just a shrug of the shoulders from Gene Segura. I mean, he ran 3 or 4 steps and then just kind of broke it down and glided into second base without a play. That's as easy as it gets right there.
Tony Walters back there, the 3rd Rocky starting catcher in this series, had absolutely no shot. 2-2 on Chris Owings. Fly ball to right for Cargo. Coming in, and that drops fair right on the line. They'll stop Segura at third base. Another hit in this series for Chris Owings. Seven hits in 3 games so far.
Very well placed. Just a little squirt off the end of the bat right there. Looked like it was going to tail into foul territory. The wind might have had a little bit of effect on that one, keeping it in fair territory. Carlos Gonzalez showcases his arm right there, even though there was no play at the plate. Diamondbacks have it cooking.
Segura at third, Chris Owings at first, nobody out, and here's Paul Goldschmidt. 2 hits in the series, both doubles. He's knocked in 2 runs. And Gray starts him off with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball for ball 1. Goldie nice and even across the board, 320 and 80. He has reached base safely in a Diamondbacks record 50 consecutive games against the Rockies. That ball is hammered left center. Dahl is there. Segura's coming home. The RBI for Goldie, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks.
Goldie messes up those nice round numbers with his 81st RBI of the year. Top spin line drive out to David Dahl in left. Gene Segura, after walking into second base on his stolen base, can walk home on that sac fly.
D-backs had been 8 for 20 with runners in scoring position in this series, and quickly they're ahead 1-0 for Jake Lamb. Jake hitting .259. He is tied for the Diamondbacks lead in homers and leads the team in RBIs. Throw down to first. Walters back there behind the plate.
I'm not sure what Tony Walters hit his hand on right there on that pickoff attempt at first base. Kind of an awkward pickoff attempt. Watch his right hand. I didn't really see anything there. Thought perhaps he hit his hand on Jake Lamb's bat as he tried that pickoff attempt at first base.
Rockies have the shift on for Jake. Missed at 95, and it's 1-1. Arenado always mans the left-hand side of the infield by himself when they have the shift on. Jake, a couple of hits last night, including a 2-run home run, his second homer in 3 games. Came in with a fastball and tied him up. It's 1-2.
You watch John Gray. He's got a little bit of Silvino Bracho out of the stretch. About 3 toe taps before coming up into the set position.
Fly ball to center. Raimel Tapia is out there. The rookie has it. No Charlie Blackmon again today for the Rockies. Still out with that back problem. And that's the second out. Yasmani Tomas. 4 hits in the series for Yasmani, an RBI in each game. He's hitting .263 with 27 homers. Here's Owings still at first. 2 outs and a run in. Walt Weiss flipped his starting pitchers a bit to put John Gray into this start here today. They're going with a 6-man rotation now that Tyler Chatwood has returned from the DL with that back problem. 1-0 to Tomas. Arenado on the short hop. Collects it and fires across his body to retire the side. But the Diamondbacks strike first. Archie Bradley coming up with a 1-0 lead. Archie Bradley a 1-0 lead. He is your Arizona Ford starter for the Diamondbacks. 5-8 in 20 starts. The ERA is back down below 5. Coming off a very encouraging outing in his win over the Reds a week ago today at Chase Field. The first start all year in which Archie did not walk a batter. The pitch efficiency was the best we've seen, Bob, in a couple of months at least.
Yeah, really good to see. And when Archie gets deep in the ball game, the numbers are really good. He's 5-3 with a 3.18 ERA when he throws 6 or more innings in a ball game, like he did last time out against Cincinnati Reds.
Raimel Tapia, the rookie center fielder, in his 3rd major league game, leads it off. Charlie Blackmon out once again with that back problem, and there's strike 1. Tapia 3 for 6 in his first 2 major league games. And you'll notice a very, as Walt Weiss calls it, unorthodox approach from Tapia. Just 22 years old, but he's got a lot of weapons up there. Sprays the ball line to line, a good contact hitter, and a tough out. Gets down in that crouch and rolls one into center. Another hit for Raimel Tapia. Let's take a look at the lineup. your Valley Chevy dealers lineup. For the Rockies, 5 under 500 on the year. They're only 6.5 out of a wild card spot.
Tapia on with that leadoff base hit for the Rockies. He's out in center field. DJ LeMahieu at second base. Carlos Gonzalez in right field. Nolan Arenado down at third base. David Dahl in left field. Gerardo Parra at first. Daniel Descalso at shortstop. Tony Walters doing the catching, and John Gray on the mound.
DJ LeMahieu, the National League's leading hitter, batting .345. Right away, Archie into the stretch, and he misses with ball one. LeMahieu, 10 home runs already, a career high. And that one gets away from Goldie. Tapia headed for third, and he will make it easily. Well, like Walt Weiss says, he causes havoc out there on the bases.
Well, Archie just spiked that ball into the grass on the right side of the infield there with Tapia's speed. He's easily going to go first to third on that E1.
You know what was great, too? The 22-year-old kid, he's playing in his third game ever. He immediately, before he even got to second, picked up Stu Cole as coach at third. Error on Archie Bradley has Tapia at third base. A 1-out count on LeMahieu. Mention the 10 home runs for LeMahieu. 3 of them this year have come against the D-backs. He was hitless Friday night, but had 3 hits last night. One and two.
Big swing that time from LeMahieu. He will normally take a very controlled swing, keeps his bat in the zone for a long time, which is why he's leading the National League in hitting. But when he gets the count in his favor this year, he's more likely to look for a ball to pull, lift it in the air to left field. Took a big cut at that 1-1 delivery from Archie Bradley.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Archie against the Reds last Sunday, just 2 runs on 5 hits and 6 innings. Didn't have a walk, struck out 3, did give up 2 home runs. Just his second win since the middle of June. Trying to hang on to his 1-0 lead right here. And he was saying that all the work he's been putting in with the coaches, some of the results haven't been there, but they're making progress. And the win over the Reds, something Archie wants to build off of and finish the season up strong. And as we mentioned earlier, he is unbeaten in 2 previous starts in this ballpark this year. That one is dunked into right. Tapia will score, and the game is tied.
That's the kind of hit we're used to seeing from DJ LeMahieu. That ball running inside off the plate, steps in the bucket and just slashes it out there into shallow right field. Rockies tie it up, 2 batters into the ball game.
Well, 2 Rockies singles and an error on the pitcher Bradley have tied up the ball game, and that brings up Carlos Gonzalez on his bobblehead day here at Coors Field. Cargo at .303 with 24 home runs. Hitless last night, 2 for 7 in the series, and a double and an RBI in Friday's game. Lines it right to Segura, and they are able to double off LeMahieu. He was a dead duck down there at first. The shift was on, and Cargo hit right into it.
Fell right into our trap.
Oh, yeah.
An exaggerated pull shift. That is a bullet, a waist-high bullet hit to the right side. Hit so hard LeMahieu couldn't even react.
Let's take a quick eye on defense, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Outfield will be Drury in left, Brito in center, Tomas in right. The infield third to first will be Lamb, Owings, Segura, and Goldschmidt. Tuffy Gosewish doing the catching today for Archie Bradley.
Nolan Arenado in the cleanup spot today. Shift is on the left-hand side of the infield this time, and there's strike one. Arenado tied for the league lead in homers. He leads the National League in RBIs and is fifth in OPS. Foul right in front of Stu Cole, and Archie's ahead 0-2. Arenado hitless last night. That snapped a 6-game hitting streak. Got a couple of singles in this series, 2 for 9 so far with 2 RBIs.
Well, it's been a quiet series by Nolan Arenado standards. Let's keep it that way for one more day.
Yeah. Archie sticking with that fastball, and it stays 0-2. Yeah, Arenado 47 RBIs in 46 games since the All-Star break. And you don't see too many guys with a closed stance anymore these days, but he's sort of closed up there. That's about as much as you'll see in 2016.
And he will dive a little bit with that front foot. You see him creeping closer to the inside corner of the plate as he rips that one into left field.
Third base hit in the inning against Archie Bradley. Well, here's a guy who's done nothing but hit. It's the rookie David Dahl. .333 and 5 home runs. And Dahl, to begin his major league career, has played in only 37 games, but he's hit safely in 34 of them, including his first 17. Not bad when you start off your major league career with a 17-game hitting streak.
That'll work. And you may have noticed there's some scattered clouds. No threat of precipitation this afternoon, but the sun will blaze through from time to time. Really going to be tough for those guys on the right side of the field.
Yeah, it is suddenly super bright down there right now. Archie's just staying with that fastball, and he's ahead 0-2. Dahl has a pair of singles and an RBI in this series. He's hit safely in 8 straight games. We're looking at what the Rockies have done lately with their first-round draft picks. You've got John Gray on the mound. You've got this kid Dahl, who they drafted out of high school in Alabama 4 years ago. Trevor Story, who's out for the year with a thumb injury. They've done well with their first-round picks recently. That one got away from Archie, and it's 2-2 on David Dahl. Dahl was the 10th overall pick in the draft 4 years ago. Just 22.
I believe in this year's draft, the Rockies took 6 pitchers out of their first 8 picks, which is not surprising. Most teams try to load up on young pitching, but especially here at Coors Field, you want to get as many young arms as you can and hope a couple of them work out.
Archie Bradley working out just fine right there. Went to the heater and got his first strikeout, but the Rockies have tied it at 1. Denver. Every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp will go head-to-head in the day's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon premieres Tuesday, 6:30 in the morning Pacific time, only on FS1. Well, bright blue skies overhead, which means, of course, that it's raining here at Coors. Brandon Drury leads off the second against John Gray. There's a big black cloud hovering over not even half the ballpark. And despite the fact that 3/4 of our sky overhead is bright blue, it's raining. Welcome to Denver. Yeah, see, it's a nice, lovely day. No chance of rain. 0%, in fact, we were told. And then you got that on the other side. That's where the rain is. First base side. 2-2. Brandon Drury, 262 and 10 homers. Getting the start in left field today. Singleton scored a run Friday. He was off last night. He's hit safely in 3 straight games. Chases that breaking ball from Big John Gray, who gets his first strikeout. Day off for A.J. Pollock today. Socrates BRITO in center field. Started in left field last night, had a double. He's at 190 on the year with 2 homers. One of those home runs came right here at Coors earlier this year. Squares to bunt, pops it up.
Not a big fan of trying to bunt to the third base side of the field against Colorado Rockies.
Not a fan of doing anything to the third base side of the field against these guys.
Maybe the first base side. You've got GERARDO PARRA with very limited playing time down there at first base, but not the third.
1-1 on BRITO. Now PARRA has done a pretty nice job over there at first base, and they think he'll play first for the foreseeable future here, at least for the rest of the year. BRITO launches one toward the right field foul pole. If it stays fair, it's gone, and he just missed it. First base umpire Tony Randazzo waves it off.
Well, that ball was blasted.
Sure was.
Hit it so pure, I thought it might have a chance to stay fair. Didn't have as much hook as some line drives you see down that right field line, but just curls into foul territory.
BRITO will not get in the box until they check the video replay.
There was no argument from Dave McKay down there, so I'm assuming that Tony Randazzo got it right.
And Chip just waved him off, said get back in there, so it's 1-2. Broken bat, bouncer up the middle. DESCALSO at shortstop. 2 outs.
Hey fans, the D-backs home run today means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-a-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Well, John Gray started off the ball game with a walk and a single, but he's now retired 5 in a row. And here's Tuffy Gozowicz. Tuffy batting 167 with 3 homers. Yes, he went. 0-2 on Tuffy. Gray starting to mix in some other pitches besides that fastball here in the second inning. Low slider missed it. It's 1-2. Walt Weiss has said about Gray, they see the radar gun when he throws the fastball. They see the body type. He looks the part. All those things a big time pitcher looks like, Gray has. Now it's just a matter of sort of polishing off the rough edges. One more time for Daniel Descalso at shortstop. And John Gray has set down 6 in a row. The Rockies and the Diamondbacks are tied at 1.
Second inning. When the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
Bottom 2 here at Coors. Paul Goldschmidt a sacrifice fly. DJ LeMahieu an RBI single, and we are tied at 1 as Archie Bradley faces Gerardo Parra to start it off for the Rockies. Archie 20 pitches in that first inning, 15 for strikes. He gave up 3 hits, all singles. Ball 1 to Parra, who's batting .260 with 6 home runs. Doubled and homered last night. Well, Weiss thinks that Parra is really swinging the bat better right now than he was earlier this year before he injured his ankle. He's been back about a month. And so he figures to keep Parra as his primary first baseman for a little while anyway. This is his 7th start this year at first. He had never played first base before this season. And he hits it right to first base. Goldie's there. 1 down.
Well, he's certainly not your prototypical first baseman. Usually you like to have a guy that's big body, long arms, big target over there at first base. But so far, Parra's handled the job well.
Yeah, Mark Reynolds still playing sporadically since he came back from that hamate bone injury. Here's Descalso, another start at shortstop there without Trevor Story for the year with a thumb injury. 2 hits in the series for Descalso, both home runs. Two and 0. Descalso playing everywhere. He started games at first base, second base, third base, shortstop, DH, left field. Good pinch hitter off the bench. Archie getting a little wild here behind 3-0.
Now, Descalso was a valuable member of the Cardinals in the Tony La Russa days. He was a guy that played all over the field for Tony. Very valuable utility player, left-handed bat off the bench.
Yeah, played in 2 World Series with St. Louis. And as Walt Weiss points out, now that he's in this role, it's tough to have attractive numbers. It's very rare that guys in this type of role have pretty numbers to look at, but DESCALSO has certainly contributed. 3-2. And there's a lot they like here. It's about showing some of these younger guys how to win a game. Versatility, leadership, professional at bats that he takes. Shoots that one down the left field line, but it's foul. Well, he's had 2 hits, as we mentioned, in this series. Both home runs. The first was as a pinch hitter Friday night following the Hundley grand slam. They went back-to-back off Bracho. And then yesterday, the start at shortstop. DESCALSO a 2-run homer in the 5th. That was after a PARRA double. This has a chance to stay playable for DRURY. Long run, foul ground, and he runs it down. He's in the seats. Did he hang on? Yes, he did. Everybody's okay. Nice play there by Brandon DRURY. Well, we've seen him do that in both outfield corners this season. He will run right into walls.
Yeah, no fear of that sidewall. Doesn't even break stride as he crosses the foul line, focusing on that ball, makes a nice catch, and then that dangerous low wall there that hits him right mid-thigh. I think he put his glove in that gentleman's tacos there or something. I see the chips falling out of his glove as he shows the ball to the third base umpire.
He's got snacks on his glove. The catcher, Tony Walters, his first appearance in this series. The rookie hitting .253 with 3 homers. Rockies had Hundley start behind the plate on Friday, Murphy last night, and today it's Walters. Walters has been playing well since the All-Star break. He's hitting .340 in the second half of the year. He hitches .215 in the first half of the season. The pitcher, John Gray, on deck. 2-2. Walters just 24 years old, a converted middle infielder. A lot of teams, Bob, seem like they're doing that. Take guys who play second base, shortstops even, and put them back there and use that athleticism behind the plate.
Yeah, some guys take to the position and use their skills behind the dish. Other guys, it's not an easy adjustment. Some people think that catchers are born, not made. But it certainly helps to be a good athlete. We talk about it all the time at the catcher's position. The range doesn't always show up the way it does at shortstop or second base or center field, but you've got to have some quickness back there behind the plate when guys are throwing in the upper 90s.
No second straight 3-2 count for Archie Bradley. Yeah, Walters won the Rockies' backup catching job this spring, only about a month after he was waived by Cleveland. He had never played above Double-A ball. Rockies got him off waivers, and he's been their backup catcher all year. He's putting up a fight here. Ninth pitch of the at-bat coming up to Tony Walters. He walked him. So the Rockies will at least clear the pitcher's spot. First walk of the ball game issued by Archie Bradley. Pretty good at bat by Tony Walters.
Yeah, really good at batting that 8-hole. That's what you like to see as a manager. You just want to clear that pitcher spot if nothing else.
That'll bring up John Gray, the pitcher.
Yeah, 158 hitter. He does have a couple of doubles. He's driven in 4. He's put down 5 sack bunts, drawn 2 walks.
You know, if John Gray's obviously got a little bigger build, but right there he kind of looks like Randy Johnson with the hair and everything.
A little bit goatee, yeah.
Got more meat on his bones, but he's got a little big unit in him. That's chopped over the mound. Owings behind the bag, spins and throws, and he got him. There's some COD. Chris Owings having a sensational series in Colorado. Ends the bottom of the second. We are tied at 1.
Of the 3rd inning, time to take a look back at baseball history on this day, brought to you by Geico. September 4th, 1906, the Highlanders beat the Boston Americans 1-0, ending a run when New York played 5 consecutive doubleheaders in 6 days.
That's a lot of baseball.
And went 10-0.
Well, of course, those games then lasted about an hour 20 minutes,
Yeah.
right? And the Highlanders, of course, were the original New York Yankees.
Go 10-0 in 5 days. How about that? You can make up a lot of ground in a pennant race. Winning 10 games in 5 days.
Run away and hide. John Gray's retired the last 6 D-backs he's faced. We are tied at 1 as Archie Bradley leads off the 3rd for Arizona. Bradley, Segura, Owings, 9-1-2. Goldie a sac fly in the 1st. DJ LeMahieu an RBI single in the 1st. All the scoring so far.
I used to love the doubleheaders. Believe it or not, fans, they used to schedule doubleheaders. And that's when my dad would take us to the ballpark. 2 for the price of 1.
Can't beat that. Now you have to collectively bargain that type of thing. A lot of talk this year as the CBA gets negotiated. The current one expires in December, that maybe they'd go to a 154 game schedule. Maybe they might work in more off days, figure out a way to maybe play some double headers for the fans. Bradley swings through that breaking ball and strikes out. Second strikeout for John Gray. Where do you stand on a 154 game schedule?
I I don't really have an issue with it. I think the demands of the game and the travel and, you know, some of the Sunday night games, and it's really throwing a monkey wrench into a lot of teams' schedule over the course of the summer. And, you know, one way around that would be to back off to 154 games, have more off days. If you do have two teams playing on a Sunday night and then traveling east after the game, you could give them an off day on Monday if you had a more limited schedule.
Well, the argument is made that because the season is such a grind with so precious few off days, that players wear down, they miss more time off either for rest or injury, and the overall quality of the play is diminished. So if you cut back the number of games, you'll actually have better players playing healthier for longer periods of time. Segura hits it right at Dahl. It drops in front. He's got a walk and a single.
There's a very fine line. Players will tell you they want to be in the lineup every day. They want to get their 4 or 5 at bats every day. But at some point, you bump up against it. Your body just doesn't react the way it does in maybe April, May, and June. When you get into the dog days of summer in August and early September, the temperature's up, the humidity's up, and your body is physically beat down. But nobody will admit that.
Well, you can, right? You can't.
No.
Just doesn't fit the mentality.
I'm fine.
I can play. Put me in, coach. 0-1 on Chris Owings, who singled his first time up. CO's 7th hit in this series after his 4 for 4 last night. Actually, going back to Friday, Chris Owings now has singles and 6 consecutive at bats.
Nasty change up there. I think that was a change up. Bottom just fell out of that pitch at 83. Chris Owings, as hot as he is right now, he would be an attractive beat the streak pick, wouldn't he?
Fortunately, you got on board the CO bandwagon before the game started.
Indeed.
I know you were sweating out that Tigers game.
Yeah, Miguel Cabrera went 0 for his first 3 before getting a knock in his 4th at bat. And CO got it out of the way right away.
Yeah, Chris actually had his hit before Cabrera did, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a borderline balk that John Gray is featuring on that pickoff attempt to first. Very little step in the direction that he's throwing. Just kind of spins and uses all arm to snap that throw over there to first base.
Segura stole a base after leading off the ball game with a walk. Came in to score on the Goldie sack fly. Arenado at third. LeMahieu for 1, and they can't turn it. Owings beats it out. Well, the Rockies are walking off the field.
Ground ball leads Arenado right to the bag at second. LeMahieu knew he had to hurry with Chris Owings running down that first baseline, so he just kind of throws on the move himself as he was coming across that bag at second.
And Walt Weiss will challenge the call, and the headsets go on. Yeah, a little more. Yeah, he's out.
Just enough.
And they've seen the replay review on the video board here. And the headsets are coming off. He is out at first, so the call is overturned. The Rockies win the challenge, and that ends the inning. D-backs and Rockies tied at 1.
They were saying I almost stepped on their praying mantis, so I just figured, you know, might as well get it out there and just give it to those guys. So, but they're having fun out there.
Yep.
Seems like in Denver, everyone has fun.
Steve.
Yeah, I wonder why. And
Really hate to interrupt you guys here, but
what do you got?
I wanted to complete the story that we broke last night here at Fox Sports Arizona. Didn't see any of the networks chase that one.
We have breaking insect news.
It was a praying mantis that he saved, and
Pray tell.
apparently there were some fans that were letting AJ know that he almost stepped on the praying mantis a number of times, and they asked for him to save it.
Well, the one guy that he gave it to, it was like he was running away from it. He couldn't get rid of that thing fast enough.
Yeah.
Raimel Tapia leads it off.
I'm not going to chase that part of the story, if that's okay. But I did talk to AJ. He had the same thing in his head that I had when I was a kid. I was curious if you guys ever heard this. That if you killed a praying mantis, it was illegal. There was a fine. There was an old urban legend that started, I guess, in the 50s.
Well, Danny wouldn't want to do anything illegal.
Not
Tapia.
here.
Oh, foul. Yeah, I heard it's bad luck.
Bad luck.
But I didn't know if it was a. Now, this is the praying mantis incident from last night.
Has a name now.
What is it, like Sparky?
No, the praying mantis incident.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought he had named the actual praying mantis.
We're building a graphic for that, I'm sure. But there you go.
Now, that guy looks like he has like a whole fish tank of them at home. Doesn't he?
In his living room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the kid in the tie-dye wants nothing to do with the praying mantis. Keep that thing away from me.
Little Sparky's scared of him. And he set it free, put it in the tree.
That's a great place for it.
Like an Ace Ventura, pet detective kind of a deal.
They do devour the insects that we consider pests, you know. There's a strikeout. So,
Look, I'm pro praying mantis.
I think we all are, aren't we?
Yeah. Second strikeout for Archie. Well, thank you for following up with that, Todd.
That's why I'm here for you.
Hey, went to the source, got the story.
Praying mantis was not available for comment.
Not every day you see something like that.
No, you don't. No. Or a year.
Got one word for you, Todd. Bait.
Can you hook those and drop them in?
Of course you can.
I guess you could do that with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich if you wanted to. Just about anything could be bait. Here's LeMahieu.
The authorities are knocking on your door.
The praying mantis people?
Yeah. Black helicopter.
LeMahieu drove in the Rockies' run with an RBI single in the first.
Put the fish hook down.
For AJ, I will say, he did he did come up to me in the room and said, "You're not doing a story on this."
Well, was he trying to literally squash the bug story?
He was. Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Just here to move the ball around for you.
1-2 on LeMahieu. Jake Lamb coming in from third. Nice play by Jake. Here's Cargo. Well, it's Denver. I mean, they got, there's like a forest set up out there with a babbling brook and pine trees. And I mean, it could be wildlife out there. Didn't somebody go out there with a bow and arrow one time? Who was the pitcher?
Todd Helton had one.
What's his name? The guy that.
Fernando Rodney.
Fernando Rodney was out there one time and told the story in the past about Miguel Batista pitching out of the bullpen for the Diamondbacks, was out there playing his flute.
Oh, that's right.
Had to stop the game momentarily to move the concert out of the line of sight of the batters.
He was playing the flute during the game.
During the game.
Now, why would that happen exactly?
That's a really good question.
Shift is on for Cargo.
A lot of things Miguel Batista did
yeah.
made you question what he was doing.
If I could just say and maybe put a bow on this, now you know the rest of the story.
Nice, Paul Harvey.
Okay.
Good day.
Sunday afternoon. Thank you.
He always says good day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or did?
Yeah.
There's a look at the defensive alignment. 1-1 on Carlos Gonzalez. Last time Cargo lined right into this shift. It wasn't quite as drastic as it is now, but Segura was a little closer in toward the infield, hit it right to him, and they doubled off LeMahieu, who had single. 1-2 now.
The way this shift is set up right now, the outfield is shifted over the other way. Yasmani Tomas is standing right in the gap in right center field. Boy, Socrates Brito a few steps over into the gap in left center, but Gene Segura playing straight away right field.
Yeah, right now Tomas is a long distance phone call away from that line. Cargo hits it in the corner. He could run all the way around the bases.
With this particular setup, if he would happen to hook one over Paul Goldschmidt's head down into that right field corner, Gene Segura might get to it before Tomas does.
Ooh, just missed away, 2-2. Way up in the air, right center field. Socrates Brito drifting over there. And he's got it. Archie Bradley, a 1-2-3 third. We're tied at 1 in Denver. One at Coors Field as Goldie leads off the fourth. Our Gig Life high-speed highlights presented by Cox. Former Brewers teammates Gene Segura and Gerardo Parra goofing around down there at first, driving the bus. And then after a throw over, as Goldie leads it off, there were more antics. Watch Parra, who's playing first base with the tag here.
Some tomfoolery over there at first base.
Slow roller to second. LeMahieu's got it. And Goldie grounds out to open up the fourth. Always good-natured, Gerardo Parra. Jake Lamb flying out to center his first time. Rockies will put the shift on. Descalso, LeMahieu, and Parra across the right side of the infield, left to right. First pitch swinging, pops it up. Long run for Arenado, fighting that sun out there in short left, and he's got it. Well, that's why they leave him over there all by himself. He can just about get to anything.
The old-fashioned flip-down shades on, needed him on that play. Looking right up into that afternoon sun, using his glove to shield his face. You saw him flip the glasses down. And never moves that glove. Nice play.
Got the eye black, the flip downs. It's a good look. Yasmani Tomas. Grounded out his first time up. Swings at the first pitch and shoots it out toward right center. Cargo makes the diving grab. Carlos Gonzalez takes a base hit away from Yasmani Tomas and gets John Gray out at the top of the 4th inning. The D-backs and the Rockies all tied at 1. Hispanic Heritage Day at Chase Field coming up Saturday, September 10th. It's presented by Bud Light. You'll enjoy a pregame APS Street Festival before the game against the Giants with authentic carne asada food, live music, mariachi, and more. Plus, the first 20,000 fans get a Los D-backs soccer jersey, which is courtesy of Pepsi. For tickets, visit dbacks.com. There is the Carlos Gonzalez bobblehead the Rockies are handing out today with a Venezuelan flag in the background. Archie Bradley has retired 7 of the last 8 Rockies he's faced, and Nolan Arenado leads off the 4th. Well, that was a 4-pitch inning for John Gray. Ground out, pop up on a diving catch by Carlos Gonzalez in right center field. This is driven to left center. Brandon Drury's over there, and he won't get it. It's going to roll to the wall. Nolan Arenado takes the turn and heads for third, and he is in there. 5th triple for Nolan Arenado.
Boy, that is a big-time hanger, a belt-high breaking ball inside part of the plate. Arenado really had to make up some ground. He was kind of not necessarily jogging down the first base line, but watching the flight of that ball in the gap, decides he can make it to third base. One quick peek over his shoulder there and into third base on his belly.
Stu Cole was waving, get down, and he was in there with a leadoff triple. And the batter is David Dahl, the left fielder. Dahl struck out to end the first. First base hit against Archie Bradley since the first inning.
He's probably fortunate that ball didn't end up out there near Helton's burger joint.
Yeah.
Hanging breaking ball.
Strike one. David Dahl played most of this year with AA Hartford in the Eastern League. Had some power there, 13 homers, stole 26 bases. He runs really well. Made a quick stop at AAA Albuquerque. Played 16 games this year at AAA, hit .484. They figured, I guess he's ready. And so he was called up to the big leagues, and when he arrived, he hit safely in his first 17 games. That tied a major league record.
Well, this is as high as it goes. There's no other league beyond this, so.
Archie Bradley gets Dahl, That's the third strikeout for Archie, one down in the fourth.
Backdoor slider for a called strike, and then 2 fastballs rushed right by David Dahl that time.
Yeah, he's now struck out Dahl twice today. That had some hop to it. Gerardo Parra grounded out his first time up. Infield at medium depth for the Diamondbacks. Gerardo Parra, his first season in Colorado, got a 3-year free agent deal with the Rockies worth about $28 million. Boy, Archie getting aggressive here, 0-2.
I like it. You mentioned the infield playing about a halfway depth. That has a lot to do with the speed of Nolan Arenado over there at third base. He's a good base runner, but he's not a fast base runner, so the Diamondbacks playing a little deeper than they might normally.
Archie can figure out a way to get this out number 2 and keep Arenado at third. Go a long way to keeping this game tied. Archie's already made 2 starts here at Coors Field this year, and he's pitched pretty well both times. Parra will walk that one off. He got his first win this year in this ballpark. It was May 9th. 4 runs, 7 hits. He went 6 innings. And then June 24th here, he walked 4 in that ball game, but gave up just 1 run in 5. Diamondbacks won it.
That's usually a dangerous way to go about it here in Coors Field. Those base on balls have a tendency to come back and bite you in this ballpark.
You mentioned Archie's efficiency last time out. He's been efficient again today. 65 pitches, 46 strikes, and he gets Parra to wave at that one. A big out number 2 in the fourth. That's his 4th strikeout.
Now we mentioned at the top of the show, Archie Bradley this season has held the opposing batters to a .218 average with runners in scoring position. Boy, this would be some kind of escape act if he can get out of this after the leadoff triple.
And it was great to see him, Bob, keep that knuckle curveball down like that. Not like the one he hung to Arenado. So if you can get DESCALSO here, the shortstop, he can keep Arenado at third base. DESCALSO flied out in his first at bat. DESCALSO hit .343 in a limited role in the first half of the year. He's played a lot more in the second half, and the numbers reflect that. He's batted .232 since the All-Star break. See, Archie was aggressive when he really needed those strikeouts, but he's gotten a little cute here with DESCALSO when he's behind 2-0. Stays away from the fastball again. Now it's 3 balls and no strikes. The catcher, Walters, is on deck.
Almost feels like a pitch around here to Daniel DESCALSO with Walters on deck.
He walked Walters the first time he faced him in a long at bat. But he hasn't given DESCALSO anything to even sniff at here. Dots that fastball for a strike, and it's 3-1. Went to the fastball away again, but missed. And he walks Descalso with 2 outs. Second walk of the ball game for Archie, and here's Walters, who was the first. Arenado at third after that leadoff triple. Descalso, the runner at first, 2 outs for the Rockies rookie catcher. And he drives it to center. It drops in for a base hit. 2-1 Colorado, the RBI for Tony Walters. He just did not want to go after Descalso, and Walters burned him.
Fastball down and out over the plate and just guides it right out into center field for an RBI base hit. Yeah, that was kind of puzzling, that Daniel Descalso at bat. He's an accomplished major league experienced hitter, but right, like Babe Ruth up there.
Yep. Now he's got 2 on and 2 out for John Gray.
Especially as aggressive as he was with David Dahl and Gerardo Parra to strike them out with a runner at third base, and then went back to nibbling to Daniel Descalso.
Yeah, 2 really good left-hand hitters. He struck them both out and wanted, for whatever reason, no part of Descalso. At least that's the way it looked from up here. Fastball inside is a strike, 1-1. Well, Archie had retired 7 of 8 coming into this inning, but Arenado led it off with a triple in the gap in left center. He struck out Dahl and Parra. Now the walk to Descalso, the RBI single by Walters, and he's behind on the pitcher, 2-1. Archie about to throw his 20th pitch in this 4th inning. He's at 75 for the ball game. Three and 1. It only gets harder after this.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. It goes without saying you want to retire the pitcher right here, because if you don't, you're going to roll around to the top of this Rockies order, and that's where they can really put a crooked number on the board.
Full count, 3-2. This will start the runners. Descalso from second and Walters, the catcher, from first. The rookie Tapia on deck, the leadoff man. Here go the runners, and Gray strikes out. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Archie Bradley, 5 for the ball game, but the Rockies take a 2-1 lead.
Arenado leadoff triple. He's driven in by Tony Walters with a single into center field. Hey, fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, Diamondbacks still trying to find a way to get to John Gray, who has retired 11 of the last 12 he's faced. And now leads Archie Bradley and the D-backs 2-1. So far, the Diamondbacks with only 2 hits. An Owings single in the first, a Segura single in the third. D-backs got their only run and a Goldie sacrifice fly in that first inning. And the Rockies have RBI singles by LeMahieu and Walters. Brandon Drury will lead it off here in the 5th. Drury, Brito, and Gozawish 6, 7, and 8 against John Gray. And Brandon has really swung the bat pretty well as of late. He's hitting better than .360 in his last 10 games. Struck out his first time up. Talked a lot about the strikeouts that John Gray has put up this season and recently, but he's only punched out 2 so far through 4 innings. Came into the ball game with 150 strikeouts, already a Rockies rookie record. He beat the Dodgers in his previous start. That was here at Coors Field Monday. Pitched very well. 6 scoreless innings. He gave up just 4 hits and had 8 strikeouts. Drury pops this one up in the infield. LeMahieu fighting that sun. And prior to that win over the Dodgers here, Gray struck out 10 Brewers in a no decision at Miller Park in Milwaukee. And he's already put up 4 double-digit strikeout games this year. But he's been very efficient so far. 1 down in the 5th. They'll work to Socrates Brito.
Well, that's a pitching philosophy that will work in any ballpark, but especially here at Coors Field. If you miss bats, you got a chance.
Brito grounded out his first time up. Well, that's been the mystery here. You know, that's gone on since this team has been in existence. How do you find pitching in this ballpark and at this elevation? And we hear about all the time about how breaking balls just don't work here. And the Rockies have tried to develop guys who throw sinkers and changeups, keep the ball on the ground. But Gray has been able to work at Coors Field, basically, they think, by just powering through with that fastball. And he's got it, that's for sure. 97 whenever he wants it.
Maybe the Rockies should look for pitchers that can hit.
Everybody else hits here.
You know, just accept the fact you're going to give up some runs, but if you can drive in some runs, it all equals out.
Sort of figure out a way to subtract it from your ERA. It's got to be a sabermetric formula for that. Brito hits another one hard. Cargo is right there. Boy, Socrates Brito in his first at bat just missed a home run. He hooked it just outside of that right field foul pole, and that one was a rocket to right center.
Well, unfortunately, Carlos Gonzalez standing right in the spot. Just had to move a step or two to his right to field that line drive.
Tuffy Gozawish grounded out his first time up against Gray. Well, Charlie Blackmon was talking about the pitches that he's seen at Coors Field, and he's been here a while. But he says a fastball in this ballpark gets on a hitter quicker because the air is so thin. It tends to create kind of a jump in velocity because there's less air resistance. And so Blackmon thinks that the fastballs, like the one that Gray throws, play up in Denver, and you can sort of power your way through the altitude and the elevation problems. There's Blackmon sitting out his second straight ball game with some back stiffness. Little tapper to second for LeMahieu. And boy, John Gray has got it rolling. He's retired 14 in the last 15 he's faced, and he leads it 2-1. D-backs trail the Rockies 2-1. Hey, D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device. Just use the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and Diamondbacks baseball with you wherever you go. D-backs trail it 2-1. Archie Bradley, he talked about the pitch efficiency in his win over the weekend against the Reds. He's not been efficient as much as you'd like here today. He's worked 4 innings, and in 3 of them has thrown at least 20 pitches. Raimel Tapia, the leadoff man, will lead off the 5th. He has singled, scored a run, and struck out 1 for 2. Squares to bunt, takes a strike. That'll bring Jake Lamb in from third. Tapia spent most of this year in the Eastern League with AA Hartford, the Yard Goats.
The Yard Goats,
yeah,
I like that.
That's a new team. They moved from New Britain, which was a Hartford suburb, and they put them in downtown Hartford, built a ballpark for them. Hard hitting New Britain. But the Yard Goats, the Yard Goat is like a train thing. It works in the railroad yard as a goat, just moving things around, sort of like a railroad tugboat.
Oh, I see.
So they're the Hartford Yard Goats. But anyway, Tapia was there and did very well. Hit .330 in the minor leagues just about. Spent a month at AAA Albuquerque. Now he's up here. 8 home runs, stole 23 bases, does just about everything well. Coming out of that exaggerated crouch. And that's more of an ouch right there than a crouch.
In case you're wondering, your strike zone is determined by your body position when you swing the bat. So even though he starts in that exaggerated crouch, when he actually swings the bat, he comes up out of the crouch just a little bit, and that's where his strike zone is established. I mean, if you had to throw strikes to him in that exaggerated crouch, you don't have a lot of north-south to work with.
I feel like pitching to Eddie Goodell. Well, some guys say they see the ball better like that when they crouch, don't they?
Well, for some guys, yeah. Whatever's comfortable, whatever makes you happy in that batter's box and gets that bat in a good position.
Worked for Pete Rose.
Sure did.
That one is just foul.
Yeah, Brandon had a chance to return that foul ball to the gentleman kind of got in the way when he caught that foul ball over near the railing. That was almost in the same area.
Boy, this kid can hit. He's hit everywhere he's been in the minor leagues. Raimel Tapia. And so far through his first 3 major league games, he's got 5 hits.
Boy, and he seems to have the approach that a lot of teams try to teach to their speedy left-handed hitters. Slap the ball the other way, put it on the ground, use your speed to your advantage, keep the ball out of the air.
And when he gets on base, he can run too. Even when he was a rookie, he played rookie ball in the Pioneer League and had 92 hits in 66 games. DJ LeMahieu had an RBI single, and he's grounded out 1 for 2. And the last time Tapia was at first, that was to lead off the ball game for Colorado. He had a single. And Archie threw over there and threw it away for a throwing error. Tapia went all the way to third and scored on LeMahieu's single to tie the ball game.
Now that pickoff attempt actually hit on the infield grass.
Spiked it. So once again, Archie working with traffic around him on the bases, pitching from the stretch and not the windup. That's been the problem for most of the year. Hard to find a rhythm that way. Fastball is inside for ball one.
I mentioned it before the first game of this series. Walt Weiss doesn't push a lot of buttons over in that first base dugout with the offense that he has. He likes to just let him swing the bats and hope for that big 3-run homer. But if he does play hit and run, LeMahieu is a guy he would love to use. Handles that bat well.
Strikeout rate for LeMahieu at a career low right now. Tapia takes off. Here's the throw from Tuffy. Dropped the ball. And Raimel Tapia has his first of what we assume will be many stolen bases in the major leagues.
Yeah, tough pitch for a catcher to handle. That ball inside to a right-handed hitter. You have to reach back to your left and drag it all the way across the front of your body as you're getting ready to throw. And that time Tuffy just fumbled the exchange. I don't think he had a chance for Tapia anyway.
Creating more havoc on the bases. That's what Walt Weiss likes. 2-0 on LeMahieu, the league's leading hitter. Bullpen starts to get busy for the Diamondbacks with Archie approaching 90 pitches. Fly ball to Tomas in right field. Fighting that sun. Tapia will tag and head for third easily. Carlos Gonzalez on his bobblehead day at Coors. Cargo has lined into a double play and flying out to center. He's 0 for 2. Rando Delgado is throwing in the D-backs bullpen. There's the Cargo bobblehead with a Venezuelan flag behind it. That's kind of a neat looking bobblehead.
Fans were here very early this morning to line up. First 20,000 got the Cargo bobblehead.
He's trying to get it to bobble. Yeah, there you go. See?
He'd rather catch a foul ball.
Yeah. Infield in for the D-backs. Tapia at third and 1 out. Right to Segura. Second time in the ball game that Gonzalez has done just that. And he throws the bat away in disgust, and he won't even pick it up. That's twice he has scolded one right to Gene Segura.
A little tougher play this time because Segura's right in at the edge of the infield grass. Boy.
Get rid of that bat. There's no hits in it.
Stupid bat. Now, last line drive to second base. Segura was playing deep on the right side of the field, but that time right in on the edge of the grass.
Well, this was the test that Archie Bradley had in the 4th inning. Here comes Mike Butcher. After Arenado led off the inning with a triple, he got 2 outs, but just couldn't strand that runner at third and escape the inning when Walters had the RBI single. Now he's got to do the same thing here with Tapia down there 90 feet away and 2 down.
Now, dangerous hitter at the plate, Nolan Arenado. 2 hits in the game already. And the guy on deck after him, David Dahl, has struck out twice in this game. You know Arenado was going to try to drive that runner in from third base with 2 outs. Maybe this is a pitch around situation. Don't give him anything good to hit.
And in the 2 at-bats he's had against Dahl, Bob, he's just blown him away with fastballs.
Just overmatched with the heaters.
So we'll see how they want to approach the deadly Arenado, who has single, tripled, and scored a run. And he's got 4 hits in the series. D-backs have 3 infielders on the left-hand side. Starts it off with a strike. Fastball is 0-1. Arenado 6 home runs and 19 RBIs in his last 12 games. Came inside and missed. It's 1-1. And he's been a problem for the Diamondbacks all year long. 15 RBIs in 15 games. He's got 9 extra base hits, including 4 homers. It's a one-man wrecking crew. Lines it. There's Gene Segura. The shift was on. He was perfectly placed, and Archie Bradley couple of hard hit balls, but he strands Tapia at third and keeps it a 2-1 deficit.
And nobody wanted to talk to me like a no-hitter. You know, they were afraid to make any big deal out of it.
Well, there he is, guys, the immortal Terry Sims, former Diamondbacks season ticket holder of Prescott, Arizona, from a feature we had on Diamondbacks Live, the pregame show on the night, or the day, I should say, that the beat the streak attempt came to an end with the injury to DJ LeMahieu. It was interesting to talk to him. Our Brian Henry went up to Prescott to visit with him, former teammate of DJ's in his high school days, Brian was. But Terry knew what he was doing. I mean, he knew how red hot DJ was going into that game, and just feel bad for him. But as DJ said, someday I'd like to reach out, Steve, and shake his hand, say thanks for the support.
I can't get behind that. he got our man Terry. I mean, it wasn't his fault. He injured his knee, I think it was, and had to come out of the game. But
lower body.
Hockey. So on we go. Bob Brenly is now the man we need to talk to about this.
I was willing to forgive him for messing with Terry Sims' streak, but when he messed up my streak, that was the end right there.
So LeMahieu has cost Terry his streak. He cost BB a 20-gamer.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you know, it's...
So he's really the cooler.
He is the cooler.
Yes, stay off. Although he is leading the league in hitting, so it's not a bad choice. Look at this scoop by Arenado. Boy, John Gray has been tremendously efficient. He's retired 15 of the last 16 he's faced. He had an 11-pitch second, a 9-pitch third, a 4-pitch fourth, a 9-pitch fifth.
And if you look at the outs that were made over that stretch, the only hard hit ball was Socrates Brito's line drive to Carlos Gonzalez in right field. Everything else has been soft, weak contact.
He's given up only 2 hits. An Owings single in the first, a Segura single in the third. And here's Gene, who has walked and singled, first pitch swinging. Do they have a beat the streak kind of a thing? They should have this for hockey.
You're right.
Score a goal, get an assist.
Yeah.
Plus minus?
Plus minus?
Ugh, no. Don't go there.
That's
a talk show in and of itself. No.
The plus minus stat.
No.
Oh, 0-2.
You know, you should really talk to some people about this, Steve.
About plus minus?
No, the whole hockey thing. This could take me all the way through the winter.
Well, get on it, man. I mean, you've got tremendous credibility in hockey. Call the league and let's play time. Call copyrighted, patented, whatever you got to do.
Got to know a guy. I mean,
you must know a guy who can push the paperwork through.
I know what Shane Doan's ringtone is when Gary Bettman calls. How's that?
Is it like the Darth Vader music?
It's close, but I'm not going to say. It's close. Very good guess, by the way.
I know some guys have that when the wife calls. Not me.
Not you.
Yeah. You know, your parents call up, you start playing the Death Star, Star Wars music.
I'm just glad we had a chance to put a face to the name of Terry Sims. He's been such a big supporter, and we've had a lot of fun with him this summer. And I know DJ wanted to shake his hand, but he didn't want to give him $5.6 million.
Well, it's not coming out of his pocket. It's true. Right center field. Tapia won't get there. Segura knocks it off the wall. The third hit for the Diamondbacks as Segura double his 35th this year. He's been on base all 3 times he's been up. Leading the National League in hits, Gene Segura.
I just mentioned there hadn't been a hard hit ball other than Socrates Brito, but Gene Segura takes care of that with his slicing drive to the gap in right center up against the barrier. Diamondbacks have a runner in scoring position with 1 down.
And their best hitter in this series is up, Chris Owings, who has singled and hit into a double play. Chris already, look at this, 7 for 9 in the series, coming off a 4 for 4 last night.
And that season average starting to sneak up there, 286.
Yeah, took a big jump. His 4 for 4 took him from 276 to 285, and he's raised that even further here in the ballgame. And now we've got.
I think the Rockies want to appeal that Gene Segura maybe missed first base, but John Gray didn't do it properly on the first attempt.
And Corey Blazer's not going to give him another chance.
Still safe. Now the ball hadn't been put back in play yet when Gray threw over the first time, so he got on the rubber, got his sign, stepped off, and then threw over to first base for the appeal. And
yeah, now Walt Weiss is barking at him. Yeah, CO was not in the box the first time they threw over. And Walt just says, I give up. Walt Weiss, a free agent manager at the end of this year. His contract expires. Jeff Bridich, the GM here, inherited Walt Weiss as his manager, so there's some speculation as to whether he'll be here next year. So here's Chris trying to get the tying run home from second with 1 out. Boy, we talked about CO and the way he's been rolling lately. He has had a very productive bat, not just in this series, but really in the last month. Hitting just under 360 in his last 25 games. And the batting average for the year has come up more than 30 points since the first week of August. Arenado was in, now he backs off at third. And that one misses, it's 1-1. But he loves hitting in this ballpark. 25 games at Coors. He's a .409 hitter here. Boy, John Gray is really clumsy, I think is the best word when it comes to controlling the base runners around him. We saw him almost balk a couple of times. His footwork is awfully awkward, seems uncomfortable. Chris tries to drop down a bunt. It's 1-2.
I think occasionally you'll see that with a guy who's been a power pitcher throughout his high school and college career and hasn't had to worry too much about base running.
Never anybody on base.
You know, and if a guy does get on, big deal. I'll just strike out the next 3 guys and get out of the inning.
Worked for him in high school, college, and the lower minors. You know what? This place. There's lightning behind the left field scoreboard. It's blue sky on the first base side. There's lightning on the third base side. And I don't mean Todd Walsh. I mean actual lightning.
Yeah, the day started out with 0% chance of precipitation. About game time, they jumped it up to 5% chance. And now I believe it's up to 25.
It just drives you crazy. 2-2. Well, they had that coming. Segura dives back and just makes it. But now it's the Diamondbacks who are lining hard hit balls right to the second baseman.
Buzzard luck that time for CO. Hit that ball right on the button, but right at DJ LeMahieu, nearly doubling off Gene Segura at second base. I think Walt Weiss is going to have him take a look.
And he might have a case. Descalso may have beaten Gene back to the bag that time.
Fans that were with us last night will remember that I gave the report on the Red Sox Oakland A's game when Rick Porcello had a perfect game through 5. Well, Eduardo Rodriguez has a no-hitter through 6 today against the A's.
Well, the Red Sox just beat up Oakland. They scored 10 runs, I think, every time they've played him the last 5 years. Here's another look. Boy, that's close. He's got that foot in there. Well, Graveman looks like he's pitching pretty well for the A's. That game's still scoreless. Out of town scoreboard has it 0-0 in the 6th. Well, that field in Oakland is a disaster.
It is an absolute disaster area. It's a hazard for players.
The outfield grass is all torn up. There's football lines all over the infield. It looks like they just had a motocross race there.
Now, Graveman has given up 5 hits, but has shut out the Red Sox so far.
Taking a long look at this, it's awfully close. Which would bode well for the Diamondbacks because you need clear and convincing evidence to overturn the call, which was safe at second.
It looks to me like Gene got back in.
No, he didn't.
Oh, man.
Boy, the Rockies, they're rolling on their challenges. That'll end the inning as Owings lines into a double play, and it stays 2-1 Colorado. Denver. T-Mobile provides us greater coverage of baseball. Look around the rest of the National League West. Giants and Cubbies are in extra innings at Wrigley, 2-2. And Yasiel Puig, recently reactivated by the Dodgers, has homered, but LA trails the Padres 4-3 in the 5th inning. We will fly to Los Angeles after this ball game later tonight. So open up a 3-game set against the Dodgers tomorrow with Zach Greinke on the mound. David Dahl, who has struck out twice against Archie Bradley, leads off the Rockies' 6th. Randall Delgado still throwing in the bullpen. And Archie has had Dahl's number all day today. Now it's Patrick Corbin who's up and throwing. Carvin Alston, the bullpen coach.
Well, the 6 left-handed hitters in this Rockies lineup today. It makes sense that Patrick Corbin would be up.
And Patrick hasn't pitched in a week either.
Yeah. Randall Delgado perhaps getting up just in case they needed somebody to get out of the inning. But if you need some length, Patrick Corbin is probably the guy today.
1-2 on Dahl. Shadows are now an issue. The light standard, you can see the shadow creeping across the home plate area from the third base side.
A little bit of an issue right now. It's going to become more of an issue when the roof of the stadium crosses, the shadow of the roof crosses over home plate. That's when it'll really get tough.
Gene Segura at second. One down in the sixth. That'll bring up Gerardo Parra. Parra has grounded out, struck out. He's 0 for 2. Mark Reynolds playing periodically at best right now, back from a hamate bone injury. David Dahl, who they just called up the rookie, plays every day in left field. So there's almost no spot for Parra right now, with Blackman out in center and Cargo in right, other than first base, and it's actually worked out pretty well. His 7th start this year at first base. Parra said it doesn't matter where he plays, he's just got to go get hits. So if it means first base, he's happy to play first. And it's tricky considering he's coming off a nasty ankle injury that kept him out for about 50 games. Walt Weiss has talked about how difficult that is. The footwork over there, is it really that tough?
It can be, especially if it's an unfamiliar position. You know, you have to shift depending on whether the throw is to your right or to your left. There's a way to put your heels against the base and then shift and put the appropriate foot on the bag and stretch out for the throw. And it takes a little while to get the feel for that. Tell you that Archie Bradley knuckle curve, we're so used to seeing it have 12-6 breaks straight down. It almost looks like a slider today. Not getting the same kind of vertical drop, but getting some horizontal movement on that pitch. There's one right there.
Archie gets his 6th strikeout. Well, he wanted no part of Descalso the last time he faced him. With a runner at third, he walked him. We'll see how he pitches him here with nobody on and 2 outs. Archie just over 100 pitches. Goes away with a fastball, and it's ball 1. Got that one out over the plate. That's a fair ball. Goldie's got it. Archie's there. And he retires Descalso. A 1-2-3-6 for Archie Bradley. Diamondbacks trailing 2-1. inning in a pitcher's duel. Archie Bradley and John Gray. D-backs trail at 2-1. Valley Toyota gives us let's go places. We're on an airplane right after this ball game. Headed to Dodger Stadium for 3 against LA. Who comes in to today leading the National League by a couple of games over the Giants. They're about to get Clayton Kershaw back. Kenta Maeda will pitch the opener tomorrow night against Zach Greinke. How about that?
Good one. Good one.
Have all 3 games for you here on Fox Sports Arizona. Greinke on Monday, Shelby Miller on Tuesday, Robbie Ray Wednesday. All 3 night games. Goldie, Lamb, and Tomas 3, 4, and 5 in the D-backs 7th against John Gray, who's pitched a tremendous ball game. And Goldie knocks it right through the wickets. LeMahieu behind the bag, and he throws him out. He's got a Gold Glove on the mantle, and you just saw why. DJ LeMahieu takes a base hit away from Goldie.
Sometimes when you refer to a player as a solid fundamental player, it means he doesn't make the spectacular play, but LeMahieu makes them all. He is a really, really good defender at his position.
They'll put the shift on for Jake Lamb, who's 0 for 2. D-back still with only 3 hits. Boy, we're in the 7th inning, and Gray just threw his 70th pitch. Hard to get much more efficient than that.
Where are we? A 2-1 game in the 7th inning.
Jake had a couple of hits last night, including a home run. His 27th of the year, tied with Yasmani Tomas for the team lead. Hard slider from Gray, and it's 2-1. Jake trying to get the batting average going in the second half of the season, but he has homered 7 times since the All-Star break. Twice in his previous 3 games, in fact. It's a hold of one here and knocks it into right center. Cargo over to cut it off. Lamb will stop at first, a 1-out single. The 4th hit for the D-backs against John Gray. Here's Tomas 0 for 2. There was a time when almost everything Yasmani Tomas hit was to the right side of second base. And far too often it was on the ground. And it was like that for much of last season. Only 9 homers last year, but boy, he's been a different guy this year. Takes another first pitch. That time it's a strike. Breaking ball's in there. Especially since right around the All-Star break, he's been able to tap into that easy, raw power, which is probably his greatest asset as a hitter. Pulling the ball a lot more often. In fact, half the time. Which seemed incomprehensible last year.
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing is he rarely misses mistakes. I mean, if a pitcher makes a good pitch at the knees on the outside corner or pushes you off the plate on the inside corner, it's going to be tough for anybody to hit. But when they make mistakes in the heart of the zone, Yasmani doesn't just hit them. He usually hits them out of the ballpark.
Sure does. A tapper up the middle. It gets through. Jake Lamb will stop at second. A pair of 1-out singles, should be 3 if it weren't for that great play by LeMahieu. So the D-backs have something going with a 1-out in the 7th. Brandon Drury 0 for 2.
Uh-oh. Tomas is down out there at first base.
Just kind of kneeling. Ariel Prieto out there with Chip Hale and Ryan DePanfilo. Ariel will translate.
Ground ball back up the middle of the field. Gets out of the box in pretty good shape, but really breaks it down even before halfway to first base. Immediately requests timeout.
Looks like he's going to stay in the ball game. It's hard to tell what's wrong. I think he wants to stay in there, but they're telling him you're done. They will take no chances. So Tomas will exit the ball game. So Chip Hale needs a new right fielder. Socrates Brito started the game in center. It's a day off for AJ. And we'll see how this one sorts itself out.
Like Jensen headed to the bat rack perhaps to grab a helmet and head on down to first base.
There he goes. Kyle Jensen, who made his major league debut in this series, flied out in his first big league at bat yesterday, will run for Tomas.
And this is where you concern yourself a little bit with the guy that comes into the ball game, because Jensen coming off the bench cold, didn't have an opportunity to stretch or go up to the cage and run some quick wind sprints to get ready for this pinch running duty. Trying to stretch his legs down there at first base as we speak.
Big spot for Brandon Drury here. Down one in the seventh, 2 on and 1 out. Jake Lamb is at second, Kyle Jensen at first. Drury shoots it the other way. It drops in. Matt Williams waving Lamb home. Here he comes, and he will score. Brandon Drury, an RBI single, ties the ball game.
Good send that time by Matt Williams on this soft line drive off the end of the bat to right field. You had Carlos Gonzalez moving a little bit to his right. He's going to have to gather, close that front shoulder, and his throw is way offline over near the mound when Gerardo Parra cuts it off.
That'll bring Steve Foster, the pitching coach, out from the dugout. Rockies bullpen will start to get busy. 3 consecutive singles against John Gray, who had given up only 3 hits through the first 6 innings. And now it's a 2-2 ball game. Socrates Brito will be the hitter. Carlos Estevez has started warming up in the Rocky bullpen. Estevez got the win here Friday night. Brito 0 for 2. He's hit the ball hard a couple of times against John Gray today. Does it again there. Gets it up in the air. That ball is way back, and it is gone. Socrates Brito takes it out of here. His 3rd of the year. And the Diamondbacks have a 5-2 lead.
Look, Brito is seeing the ball as big as a beach ball out of the hand of John Gray. He has smoked the ball every at bat in this game. This time he finally gets one over everything to right field.
Well, he's got 3 home runs. 2 of them have come in this ballpark.
And Cargo kind of squares up as if he's going to make a play and then just looks over his shoulder. That ball hit off the facing of the second deck.
So the Diamondbacks, who had only 3 hits against John Gray through 6 innings, have suddenly opened up a 4-run 7th. A jumbo jack off the bat of Socrates Brito. A free jumbo jack tomorrow, the purchase of a large drink from our friends at Jack in the Box. Tuffy Gozowich. How about 452 feet? 4-5-2 for tacos, courtesy of Socrates Brito. Pitcher spot is due up next, and Ricky Weeks Jr. is in the on-deck circle. 0-2 on Tuffy. 4 consecutive hits against John Gray. Would have been 5 if LeMahieu hadn't made that great play on Goldie to lead off the inning. Diamondbacks, if they win this one, will finish up Coors Field 6-4 here this season. They have had at least 10 hits in 10 consecutive games in this ballpark. And so far they've got 5 runs on 7 hits. Brito just missed a home run in his first at bat today. Hooked one just outside the foul pole in the right field corner, and that one was 452 feet into the Rockies bullpen. Over the new fence out there. Tuffy battling here, 1-2. Giants and Cubs still playing at Wrigley. It's 2-2 in the 12th. Dodgers are hosting the Padres. LA leads that 5-4. They're in the 5th. Straight up in the air. Walters behind the plate. Now Ricky Weeks Jr. has gone back in the dugout. And Phil Gosselin will take the at bat. I guess they wanted Ricky's power if they had a base runner on there, but with nobody on and 2 outs, it'll be Gosselin. And Phil hitting .281 with 2 homers. So this will end the day for Archie Bradley, who suddenly has got a 5-2 lead. Archie got through 6. Had 6 strikeouts. He walked 2. Gosselin, 66 plate appearances as a pinch hitter this year. He leads all of Major League Baseball in pinch hits and pinch hit at bats. Got the start at second base last night, singled and walked.
Eduardo Rodriguez threw 7 innings with a no-hitter, but the pitch count is up to 100. That'll be interesting.
Red Sox and A's in Oakland, scoreless in the 7th. Yes, he went. Tony Randazzo rings up Gosselin. That ends the inning. But the Diamondbacks get 4. A 3-run home run by Socrates Brito makes it 5-2 Arizona. And we'll keep it right here at Coors Field on this sunny Sunday in downtown Denver, as we pause to honor America with the singing of God Bless America. Let's go down to the field.
Fans, the Colorado Rockies are proud to host and honor those who sacrifice on behalf of us all. With us on the field today are Silver Star recipient Joe Anello and his wife Joan, Medal of Honor recipient Hiroshi Miyamura, and Leslie Sakato, daughter of Medal of Honor recipient George Sakato. These gentlemen's extraordinary heroism and devotion to duty are in keeping with the highest traditions of military service. Fans, please give them a hero's welcome as well as to all our nation's brave servicemen and women and their families. We thank you for your service and sacrifice. Fans, please rise as we honor our great country with the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the United States Air Force Academy Band, is Senior Airman Ben Sampson. Please welcome Senior Airman Sampson and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
A 4-run D-backs seventh. They've taken a 5-2 lead. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. We start a 3-game series in LA tomorrow. Zach Greinke on the mound against Kenta Maeda. New pitcher for the D-backs, Patrick Corbin. And he throws a strike to the new Rockies hitter, Steven Cardullo, who is batting for the catcher, Tom Murphy. And the other catcher, or pardon me, Tony Walters, and Tom Murphy, one of the other catches, is on deck. He's going to hit for Gray. One and one to Cardullo, the miniature version of Goldie. 29-year-old rookie, 5 for 13 in his big league career so far. Patrick ahead 1-2.
Looking for that shutdown inning, always so important when your offense puts some runs on the board like the Diamondbacks did in the top of the 7th, putting a 4 spot up. Get your team right back in that dugout as quickly as possible.
Popped him up behind the mound. Chris Owings calling for it. Nice cloud cover there for Chris, and he's got the first out in the 7th. Kyle Jensen takes over for Yasmani Tomas in right field. He'll bat 5th. And just speculating at this point, but we're guessing that it's that back tightness that was bothering Yasmani Tomas about a week or so ago. Looked like it may have tightened up on him, running to first base a couple of times in the ballgame. So Tomas is out, Jensen's in right, and Murphy will hit for the pitcher Gray. Murphy just called up for the minor leagues for this series, 2 for 5 with an RBI. Had an RBI single last night. He was 1 for 4. Patrick Corbin, his last 5 appearances have all been in relief. And this is his first outing in a week. He's looked very good, at least his last time out against the Reds at Chase Field Sunday. 2 scoreless innings without a hit. He had 3 strikeouts. One and 2. Boy, Archie Bradley was on the ropes or close to on the ropes a couple of times, that every time he was in any kind of trouble he pitched out of it. And Archie, in line for the win here, went 6 innings. Gave up just 2 runs on 6 hits, had 6 strikeouts, and walked only 2. That one is crushed. Left field corner. And gone. Tom Murphy, a solo homer, and it's a 5-3 ball game. Well, Murphy had some good power in the Coast League. 327 and 19 homers at AAA Albuquerque, and that one was launched.
Fastball inside part of the plate, and Murphy got the barrel on it. The only question was fair or foul. Went way up that utility tunnel out there in left field where they bring the equipment on and off the field.
That's right where Jake Lamb hit his home run in the ball game last night. The rookie Raimel Tapia looks at strike 1 from Patrick Corbin. Tom Murphy.
He'll more than likely stay in the game behind the plate. Cardullo pinch hit for Tony Walters, who was catching for the Rockies, and then the catcher Tom Murphy pinch hit for the pitcher spot, so he'll probably stay in defensively as well.
Don't you just love September?
Well, the good news is, if you love September, I think Bruce Bochy has 13 or 14 relief pitchers on his scorecard every day. And we know what he does when he has 7.
All right, then. It was tough division when Bud Black was managing the Padres, because between Bochy and San Francisco and Bud Black any time of the year, scorecards were a disaster.
Bochy with the pitching staff and Bud Black with his outfielders.
You had guys for Bud Black that might play 4 outfield spots in 1 game. Twice. Patrick Corbin strikes out Tapia. First strikeout for Patrick, 2 down. Here is DJ LeMahieu. RBI single in the first. He is 1 for 3. Leading the National League in hitting with that .345 batting average. Each team now with 7 hits. D-backs lead at 5-3.
There was that big swing from LeMahieu. He's got 2 career home runs against Patrick Corbin among his 10 hits. Talked about it earlier in the ball game. He's usually just trying to keep the bat in the strike zone, hit a line drive somewhere.
It's a one-hopper right to Segura. But Murphy's homer gets a run back for the Rockies. D-backs lead at 5-3.
For the 8th inning here at Coors Field with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
8th inning at Coors Field. D-backs lead the Rockies, and the new pitcher for Colorado, just up for the minor leagues. August 22nd, it's the right-hander Carlos Estevez, who was the winning pitcher here Friday night. And it's a whole new battery for the Rockies as Tom Murphy takes over behind the plate. He'll bat 9th, pitcher spot now 8th for the Rockies, as Segura, who has walked, singled, and doubled, leads off the 8th inning. Jake Barrett has started warming up at the Diamondback bullpen. Boy, did he look good last night. Segura backs out and takes strike one. There's Jake. Boy, he was terrific in the ball game last night. A 1-2-3 8th inning. On 9 pitches, he had 2 strikeouts. Just blew guys away. He was all power fastball. So it looks like maybe Barrett in the bottom of the 8th. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the Rockies in the 8th. Cargo, Arenado, and DAHL. 1-2 on Gene Segura.
Eduardo Rodriguez for the Red Sox with a 7-pitch 8th inning. Still has the no-hitter going. 107 pitches on the ball game.
But it's still 0-0.
Still zip, zip.
Harvey Haddock's on line 1. Skied way up in the air. Gonzalez in right field. Segura's retired. Here's Chris Owings, who's 1 for 3, a single in the first. Wind was coming in during the ball game last night, and it looked like it knocked a few fly balls down to center field, but now it's blowing out to left center. And CO takes one right in the back. Well, he's got 7 hits in this series, and with the first pitch, Estevez gets him right between the 1 and the 6, it looked like. Here's Goldie. Goldie drove in the game's first run, a sacrifice fly in the first. He has grounded out twice. He's 0 for 2. Murphy was behind the plate last night when Chris Owings was thrown out stealing to end the 7th inning. It was the first time all year Chris has been caught stealing. He had been 15 for 15. Fastball misses in. Owings holds. That gets away from Estevez. Murphy doesn't like what he's seeing. It's 2-0.
Estevez really got underneath that slider, really flattened it out. Fortunately for him and the Rockies, it was well out of the strike zone. Goldie couldn't even think about swinging at it.
'97. Estevez is their busiest reliever despite spending some time in the minor leagues. 48 1/3 innings in relief. Does have 11 saves this year. Previous Rockies rookie record for saves was 3. Here's a name from the past. Steve Reed, 1993.
Yeah. Steve Reed, a little sidearm right-hander.
Yeah. But he had a bumpy August, Estevez. Went 0-2, blew 3 saves, had a 10 ERA, and so he was sent down to the minors. Recalled August 22nd.
Well, that could have been a Steve Reed jersey or a Jeff Reed jersey, a catcher that played here for the Rockies.
Murphy watches it go out of play behind the D-backs dugout.
No hitter's gone. Marcus Semien with an infield hit to break up the no hitter.
Well, the Red Sox have been scoring double-digit runs every game they've played at Oakland, so that's kind of amazing. Kendall Graveman and Erod. Chris Russin has started warming up for the Rockies. 3-2 to Goldie. Owings takes off for second. Goldie strikes out. Murphy double clutches, and CO is in there. It gets into center, but Tapia backs it up. Stolen base number 16 for Chris Owings. Goldie strikes out, 2 down.
A disjointed play there. Murphy had to re-grip that ball, then spikes it in the grass out near second base. Chris Owings didn't immediately see where the ball was as it skipped into center field, but in scoring position nonetheless with a stolen base. Now we're told that that base hit that broke up the no-hitter, he was initially called out at first and on review was called safe.
Review took away the no-hitter.
About that.
Wow. That's got to be a first, right?
I would think so.
Yeah. Well, you got first base open if they decide they want to walk Lamb here and pitch to Kyle Jensen, who's had 1 major league at bat. Kyle is on deck, and they will indeed give Lamb the free pass. Jake Singleton scored his last time up. He's 1 for 3. So the D-backs will have 2 on and 2 out for Jensen, who put up some big numbers at AAA Reno this year. Was brought up this weekend for the first time, a 28-year-old rookie, and flied out in his first and only big league at bat last night.
Jensen, somewhat of an oddity in the game of baseball, a left-handed thrower that bats from the right side of the plate.
Now you see a fair amount of right-hand throwers, left-hand hitters. So here is Kyle.
The most notable, Ricky Henderson.
Yeah. You see the numbers from Reno where he was second in the voting for Pacific Coast League MVP. Led the league in both home runs and RBIs. Chris Owings is at second. Jake Lamb at first, 2 outs, and the wind is blowing out here at Coors. So go get him, Kyle. 30 homers, 120 RBIs, 34 doubles. 8 years in the minor leagues, and now a chance for his first major league hit. Here's ball 1.
Boy, and that wind is really kicking up. You can see our center field camera kind of bobbing around. The batter's eye in straightaway center field out there where Bambi lives. The ivy on the wall blowing all over the place. The trees bending back and forth.
Fouls it back, and it's a ball and a strike on Kyle Jensen.
This is probably the only ballpark in major leagues where your batter's eye moves when the wind blows.
They tried the same thing originally when they opened Target Field in Minnesota, but they had some sunlight that would reflect off the trees out there. Got him on the pad, and the bases are loaded. Second hit batter of this inning for Estevez after he plunked Owings.
Ooh, right off that left elbow. I don't believe he is wearing a pad. He's got that sleeve on his throwing arm, but it didn't appear like he had any kind of protective padding.
It made that sort of thud material sound, but he not only did he not move, he kind of stuck the elbow out there, little chicken wing. And the D-backs have the bases full now for Brandon Drury.
Starting to look like Candlestick Park here in downtown Denver. Hot dog wrappers blowing all around the field.
Brandon, an RBI single his last time up, 1 for 3. Owings, Lamb, and Jensen, the runners, third to first. One and one.
Boy, for the big knock right here with 2 outs. You may remember, if you were with us last night, our key to the ball game was keep your foot on the gas. We know from games past here at Coors Field, no lead is ever safe. Add on whenever you can.
The left-hander Russin still warming in the Colorado bullpen. 1 and 1 to Drury. 100-mile-an-hour fastball is strike 2. Brandon Drury 1 for 5 with the bases loaded this year. 2 RBIs. Down a ball and 2 strikes. Bases full, 2 outs. Yeah, there's wrappers all over the field. All down the left field line, all down the first base line. Two and 2. Base hit for Brandon. Owings scores. Here comes Lamb. The throw from Dahl is cut off, and the Diamondbacks take a 7-3 lead. A 2-run single by Brandon Drury. He's knocked in 3 today.
Big knock for Brandon Drury right there. Aggressive send once again by Matt Williams. Haven't seen a lot of David Dahl. Haven't seen him throw very much from left field, but that throw was well late back into the infield. Boy, that's a big hit. Whew.
Well, Brandon got it started in the previous inning when he had the RBI single just before the Brito 3-run homer. And now with the bases full and 2 outs, it's a 2-run single, a 7-3 D-backs lead. And Walt Weiss will pull Estevez from the ball game. We'll take a break from Denver. D-backs up by 4. in Coors Field, with the Diamondbacks have a 7-3 lead. Brandon Drury, a big bases loaded 2-out knock to drive in 2, and that's brought on a new pitcher for the Rockies. It's left-hander Chris Russin. 7 starts, 14 relief appearances. He was on the DL for a while with a left shoulder strain. Just came back off the DL at the end of July. And is 1-0 with a 3.79 ERA and 9 relief appearances since. He'll work to Socrates Brito, who hit a 3-run home run his last time up. It's our Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing Cool Play of the Game. 452 feet into the Rockies bullpen.
Boy, lefties and those pitches down over the plate. Socrates Brito, no exception, went down, dug that one out, and blasted it to right center field.
Well, blast another one, because that wind, as we just showed you, is gusting out to center right now. Jensen at second, Drury at first, and 2 runs are in. D-backs with 4 in the 7th and now 2 here in the 8th. Boy, Socrates looked like he could hit 1,000 off John Gray.
He didn't fool him once today. That long foul home run. A line drive to Cargo out in right field. And then that long home run off the facing of the second deck.
Everything was like it was on a tee. He spiked it in the dirt. Murphy collects it. Everybody moves up. Jensen to third, Drury to second. Now a single can score 2 more. There's about a 50-foot pitch from Chris Russin. Struck him out. But the Diamondbacks add 2 more. Bottom 8 coming up from Coors. They lead it 7-3. Diamondbacks had no answers for John Gray, who had given up only 3 hits through 6 innings and had a 2-1 lead. And then suddenly the Diamondbacks got to him in that 7th inning, a 4-run 7th. 2 more in the 8th. They lead at 7-3. And Patrick Corbin back out there to open up the bottom of the 8th inning against Carlos Gonzalez. D-backs have out hit the Rockies 8-7. The big hit, Socrates Brito, a 3-run homer in the 7th. And then Brandon Drury, a bases loaded 2-out, 2-run single in the 8th. Cargo 0 for 3. Although Gonzalez should have, by all rights, a couple of hits today. He has twice. He had absolute bullets right to Gene Segura, and the shift is on again. Waits at that fastball, and it's 2-2. Gonzalez, Arenado, and DAHL 3, 4, and 5 in the Rockies' 8th. That's out of play. Giants just lost at Wrigley Field in extra innings. Cubs beat them 3-2 at Jason Hayward walk-off. Walk-off single, I believe. That's correct. And your Red Sox-A's game ended up, which was a no-hitter in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
Ended up on a walk-off error.
Ugh.
And the A's won that ball game. 3-2 now on Cargo. Dodgers still lead the Padres 5-4. They're in the 7th in LA.
The Giants come here to play the Rockies, an afternoon game tomorrow on Labor Day, and if that score holds up in Los Angeles, they'll be 3 games back in the West. Giants just kind of sputtering along here in the second half.
It's been a miserable second half for San Francisco, that's for sure. On the ground away from the shift, but he hits it right to Owings. And that's the first out of the 8th inning. Here's Arenado, who has singled, tripled, and scored a run. And the D-backs will move the shift to the other side of the field. And they'll leave Goldie all alone midway between first and second. Patrick Corbin, Bob, last couple of times out seems to have a better rhythm and a little bit better body language. Seems a little more confident, more aggressive out there.
We showed some video on that last homestand of Patrick Corbin working down in the bullpen with Mike Butcher and Garvin Alston, and it appeared they were talking about his upper body getting more in line to his target. Patrick has a bad habit occasionally of really spinning off his pitches. From the moment that ball leaves his hand, he really spins off to the third base side. They were trying to get him to finish his pitches a little better on a direct line to home plate, and maybe that has given him the confidence that we're seeing out there on the mound now.
Just pitching a little more fluidly with a little more flow to him. Patrick Corbin goes to the fastball and strikes out Arenado. Patrick's second strikeout, 2 down.
Arenado's a tough guy to strike out under any circumstances. That's his 79th punch out of the season.
Well, that was a great example. I mean, he just attacking with that fastball. Here you go, I'm coming at you. David DAHL. D-backs in the ninth will have Tuffy Gozawish the pitcher spot and Gene Segura 8-9-1. Justin Miller is warming up in the Rockies bullpen. Boy, the Brewers went to Pittsburgh today, beat the Pirates 10-zip.
Yeah, Chase Anderson started that game for the Brewers.
Yeah, got the win. There's Chase's 57. Patrick Corbin looking good. He looked terrific a week ago. Gets 3 strikeouts here in 2 innings. 7-3 Diamondbacks. The Rockies 7-3. Fans, get your tickets right now for the D-backs and Dodgers 4-game series coming up at Chase Field. That is September 15th through the 18th. First 20,000 fans in the ballpark on Saturday the 17th. Get the David Peralta bobblehead, courtesy of Ram Trucks. This is a great looking bobblehead. David doing his now trademark pose with a hand up to the face. And you'll want to get yours. First 20,000 on Saturday, September 17th. Visit dbacks.com for tickets. New pitcher for the Rockies. It's Miller time. Justin Miller, activated from the DL before Friday's game. He'd been out since July 5th with a left oblique strain, and he pitched the 8th inning of the ball game last night. Had a strikeout and a walk. Tuffy Gozawish leads it off. And Patrick Corbin is in the on-deck circle as Tuffy lifts one up in the air in left center field. Tapia has it. That's the first out in the 9th inning. And Chip Hale content to let Patrick finish this thing up. He's pitched 2 innings so far. Giving up just 1 hit, the Murphy homer. He's got 3 strikeouts, and now he'll hit with 1 out in the 9th.
Yeah, first 2 batters up in the 9th inning for the Rockies, both left-handed hitters, so he's just going to let Patrick roll.
Well, the Diamondbacks have 8 hits in the ball game. They've had at least 10 hits in 10 consecutive games at Coors Field, going all the way back to last September. That is the longest such streak in D-backs history in any road ballpark. But that streak is in jeopardy right here. Need 2 more hits. And this is the place to get them. Diamondbacks have scored 99 runs this year versus the Rockies. 24 runs at Chase Field, 75 here at Coors. Now they have played 10 games at Coors, only 6 at Chase. But you get the point. Rockies in the 9th will have Parra DESCALSO, the two lefties that Bob mentioned to lead it off, and then the pitcher spot, 6, 7, and 8. Miller strikes out Corbin, 2 down. Good day for Gene Segura. He has walked, singled, doubled, stolen a base, and scored a run. The National League hits leader. I don't even need to say it, do I?
No.
Yeah.
Two Diamondbacks have already been hitting this ball game when Estevez was in there spraying it all over the place. This one head high off the inside part of the plate to Gene.
I'm going to have our crack staff, producer Phil the Iron Horse Malika and director Phil the Iron Horse Malika, producer Brad the Big Dog Weimer, put together a montage of Segura hitting the dirt at balls that have been thrown right at his head. He got hit in the head in Pittsburgh, and he's been knocked down at least a dozen times this year like that.
I'll give the Iron Horse something to do on his off time.
Oh yeah, he's got so much of it. He can come in and supervise. Look out.
Yeah, there you
right
go.
Back at you. Belts it right back up the box. Segura's 3rd hit today. He's aboard for the 4th time.
Knock me down, I'll knock you down.
Owings was hit his last time up, 1 for 3. Next stolen base for Segura will be number 30 on the year. And there he goes. Had a feeling. And again, Murphy double clutches that one, and Segura's in there. So there's stolen base number 30 for Gene.
Yeah, Murphy having all kinds of issues getting a grip on the baseball. It's the 2nd time in the game on a stolen base attempt. He had to re-grip, and by the time he gets it down there, Gene is in safely with number 30.
0-1 on Chris Owings. That one got behind Murphy, and Segura's in at 3rd. Miller yanked that one. A wild pitch has Segura at 3rd base with 2 outs and a 1-1 count on Chris Owings. D-backs looking for one more hit to get 10. That would be 11 straight games with at least 10 hits in this ballpark. Diamondbacks as a team have hit .344 their last 10 games here at Coors Field. BRITO and DRURY right there. They've had the 2 big hits. Socrates, BRITO, a 3-run home run in the 7th. Brandon Drury, a bases loaded, 2-out, 2-run single in the 8th. Diamondbacks were down 2-1 heading into the 7th inning. They lead at 7-3. Owings hits a shot to the left field corner, and that's a fair ball. That's hit number 10. Segura scores the 8th Diamondback run. Another hit at Coors Field for Chris Owings. That's his 18th double. CO, a 3-game series at Coors, 8 hits. Here's Goldie. Home plate now in sunlight. Pitcher's mound is entirely encased in shadow. Diamondbacks today 5 for 7 with runners in scoring position. 10 for 16 the last 2 games. That's a stat that's been a problem for most of the year. 1-1. Goldie looking for his first hit today, does have an RBI. Yeah. 2-1. D-backs 4 runs in the 7th. 2 in the 8th, now 1 more here in the 9th. The previous 2 games in this series both went exactly 3 hours and 11 minutes. We got a chance. Well, Miller's not cooperating. 3-2. Right now, we started at 2:10. It's now 5:07 local time. Two outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Drifting toward the seats. Parr is over there, and it's just out of his reach.
Need a taller first baseman.
He doesn't exactly fit the profile, you're right.
One thing you know about Gerardo Parra, you can put him in the outfield, you can put him at first base, you can put him behind the plate. You're going to get everything he's got to give you on that day.
No question. Ninth pitch coming up. Drop the breaking ball in there and rings up Goldie. But the Diamondbacks get one more. It's 8-3 D-backs. Bottom 9 coming up. D-backs looking for the series win. They can take 2 of 3 from the Rockies in our final visit here last year. And Patrick Corbin on for his 3rd inning of relief. And it would be his 2nd career save, his previous career save way back in July of 2012. Also a 3-inning save. That came against the Dodgers. A.J. Pollock is checked into the ball game. He's now in center field. Socrates Brito moves over to right, replacing Kyle Jensen. Christian Adames pinch hitting, splits the gap and rolls it all the way to the wall, deepest part of the ballpark out there. So Adames hitting for PARRA, a leadoff double against Corbin.
We're going to get another pitch hitter for Daniel Descalso, the left-handed hitter. Looks like Nick Hundley's going to take the at bat.
Oh, Hundley had a big night here in the series opener. A couple of hits, including his first career grand slam. 249 now with 9 homers. He has homered in 4 of his last 8 games. Slow walk to the mound for Chip Hale. So there will be no 3-inning save for Patrick. And the Diamondbacks will go to the bullpen, trying to close out an 8-3 lead in the 9th at Coors. ninth, but pulled after one hitter. And so with Adames at second and nobody out, here's Daniel Hudson, a 5.98 ERA. And this is Daniel's 60th appearance this year. He got his second save of the season Tuesday in San Francisco, and then closed out the win here last night with a couple of strikeouts in the ninth inning. He'll face Nick Hundley, hitting for Daniel Descalso. Pitcher spot is up next. Ryan Rayburn is in the on-deck circle for Colorado. One on, no outs. Diamondbacks lead at 8-3 in the ninth. Hundley swung a hot bat lately. He's hit safely in 10 of his last 13 games. Hitting .355 at Coors Field last year. This year it's down to .233. 96 from Huddy, and it's 1-1. So Daniel here, because he came in after the first batter, inherits a runner instead of getting a clean inning like he did last night. But ahead of Hundley 1-2. Slider missed it. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. That rolls away from Tuffy. Adames moves up. A full count on Hundley, 3-2. Wild pitch.
We've noted throughout this series a number of the Rockies hitters in the on-deck circle stand very close. You could see Rayburn right there had to move out of the way of that wild pitch.
Yeah, they all stand in the same spot just about on that last cut of grass before the on-deck circle.
Yeah, which the grounds crew really loves.
3-2 to Nick Hundley. Right now you've got both the plate and the mound in shadow with that patch of sunlight in between. You can see where Rayburn stands right there.
A little flash of baseball after it leaves Daniel Hudson's hand. You see it maybe 2/3 of the way to home plate, and then it disappears.
Base hit. Adames will score. It's an 8-4 ball game.
Soft liner over CO's head into shallow left field to drive home Adames from third base after the wild pitch, and now Ryan Rayburn will take the at bat.
Rayburn 231 and 8 home runs. 3 of those homers have come as a pinch hitter this year. Rayburn hitless in the series. He struck out as a pinch hitter last night, facing Daniel Hudson. That was in the 9th inning. Hardy coming at him with that fastball. He's ahead 0-2. The catcher Murphy is on deck. He homered his last time up off Patrick Corbin. Got him. Stuck with a fastball and struck him out. 1 down in the 9th. Tom Murphy. Homered off Corbin with 1 out in the 7th. It was his first this year, just called up from the minor leagues this weekend. 3 for 6 at the plate so far. Fastball again is strike 1. You've got Murphy up here, the rookie. Tapia on deck. After that, you've got the LeMahieus, the Cargos, the Arenados.
Don't want to get there.
No. Oh, and 2.
We needed a ground ball. One of the first 2 pitches of this at bat to finish at 3-11.
Not going to make it now, huh?
No.
Friday and Saturday's games went 3 hours and 11 minutes. Base hit to center. Sounded like he broke his bat. Another hit for Murphy. And the Rockies, as they tend to do, kind of inching closer to getting that tying run to the plate.
Pretty good pitch that time from Daniel Hudson. Murphy hit it right off the end of the bat. Like you said, I think he broke his bat, hit that little soft floater into center field.
So you've got 2 catchers on the bases in Hundley and Murphy. 1 out, and here's the rookie, Raimel Tapia. 2 singles, a stolen base. He scored a run. He's also struck out twice. Just his 3rd major league game. Called up for the minor leagues on Friday. He reaches out and lifts it in the air. Here comes Pollock. He won't get there. He's got to play it on a hop, and the bases are loaded. And now the Rockies do get the tying run to the plate with 1 out in the 9th. And it's DJ LeMahieu. 3rd hit tonight for Tapia. The National League's leading hitter, an RBI single in the 1st. He's 1 for 4. Mike Butcher to the mound. Got Hundley at 3rd, Murphy at 2nd, and Tapia, who runs like the wind, down at 1st. Adames started it off with a double after Patrick Corbin was sent back out there to start the inning, but he was lifted after one batter. So Hudson brought in, inheriting the runner at second base, nobody out. Hundley singled, he struck out Rayburn. Murphy singled, Tapia singled. Bases full, one out for LeMahieu. LeMahieu, a .398 hitter at Coors Field this year. Slider in there, and it's 1-1. That rolls away from Tuffy. Hundley's going to score. A single can now make it a one-run game.
That's one of those tweeners as a catcher. You're not sure if it's going to hit the dirt or make it in the air. Tuffy thought it was going to make it all the way in the air. Unfortunately, gets underneath his glove up that first baseline.
Second wild pitch in the inning, charged to Daniel Hudson. Two balls and a strike on DJ LeMahieu. Murphy at third, Tapia at second, still just one out. Fastball, and it's 2-2. Rockies, who scored runs in the first, fourth, and seventh, have scored more than one run in an inning for the first time today. Big strikeout from Daniel Hudson. The low fastball punches out LeMahieu. 2 outs.
That's a guy that rarely strikes out. A very weak defensive swing that time at a pitch on the outer third of the plate.
Here comes Cargo on his bobblehead day. He is the tying run at home plate with 2 down in the ninth. 0 for 4. Cargo bobbleheads are lined up, ready to go. First base open, Arenado on deck. Diamondbacks have the shift on. Segura out there in short right field. Jake Lamb near the bag at third. And Owings behind second base. Murphy is the runner at third, Tapia at second. One and one.
Diamondbacks have had pretty good luck against Cargo in this series, staying away. Everything on the outside corner of the plate or farther away. Just stay away from his power.
He was an all-star this year, but has slowed down lately. 240 since the end of July. 3 homers. And Huddy again, change up that time, and it's 1-2. '25th pitch in this inning from Daniel Hudson coming up. He's a strike away. Got him! Daniel Hudson strikes out LeMahieu and Gonzalez. Strands 2 and seals an 8-5. Diamondbacks win. They take 2 of 3. And their final visit here to Coors Field this year.
Made it a little more interesting than it had to be there in that 9th inning, but Daniel Hudson, when he needed it the most against 2 really good hitters, made some quality pitches to get a couple of punch outs and end the ball game.
He got 3 strikeouts in that 9th inning, and the Diamondbacks, who were out hit 11-10, win at 8-5, and they take 2 of 3 from the Rockies as we head to LA for a series against the Dodgers with Zach Greinke on the mound at Dodger Stadium tomorrow night. We'll have much more on Cargo Bobblehead Day when we come back from Coors Field. Diamondbacks Live postgame show presented by CenturyLink is next. Todd Walsh will have an interview down on the field, and we'll head inside the clubhouse and get more reaction. Diamondbacks had an ugly one here Friday. They broke out the bat Saturday and Sunday. They take 2 of 3 and win this one 8-5. Back from Denver right after this.